World War I, also known as the Great War, was a global conflict that took place from 1914 to 1918. This devastating war was ignited by a combination of factors, including political tensions, economic rivalries, and a culture of militarism. Let's take a closer look at some of the key reasons that led to the outbreak of World War I. Firstly, imperialism played a significant role. European powers like Britain, France, Germany, and Belgium engaged in fierce competition for colonies and resources across the globe, especially in Africa and the Middle East. This intense rivalry between nations caused mounting tensions. Secondly, the rise of nationalism had a profound impact. Many European countries experienced a surge in nationalist sentiment, emphasizing the importance of national identity and loyalty. This led to increased military spending and a desire for expansion and conquest. Moreover, the buildup of military forces and the glorification of war created an atmosphere where armed conflict seemed like a viable solution to disputes. This policy of militarism fostered a sense of aggression and hostility among nations. The complex system of alliances between countries also played a crucial role in the outbreak of war. The Triple Entente, consisting of France, Britain, and Russia, and the Triple Alliance, comprising Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, created a delicate situation where a minor conflict could escalate rapidly, dragging numerous countries into a larger war. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in June 1914 added fuel to the fire. The heir to the Austrian throne was assassinated by a Serbian nationalist, triggering a chain of events that led to the outbreak of war. Moreover, economic rivalries between countries, particularly between Britain and Germany, exacerbated tensions leading up to the war. Competition for colonies and resources in Africa and the Middle East also contributed to the mounting pressure. The Bosnian crisis of 1908-1909, in which Austria-Hungary annexed Bosnia and Herzegovina, resulted in increased tensions between Austria-Hungary and Serbia. Similarly, the Italo-Turkish War of 1911-1912, during which Italy seized several Ottoman territories, further destabilized the Balkans. Lastly, the Franco-Russian alliance, formed in 1894, aimed to counterbalance the growing power of Germany. As a result, when conflict arose, France and Russia were drawn into the war due to their alliance commitments. In conclusion, World War I was caused by a complex web of tensions and alliances. Factors such as imperialism, nationalism, militarism, alliances, assassinations, economic and colonial rivalries, and specific crises all intertwined, ultimately leading to the devastating global conflict. The Palestinian-Israeli conflict is a deeply rooted disagreement between Israelis and Palestinians regarding land, rights, and identity. This dispute traces back to the early 20th century, when Jewish immigration to Palestine, then under Ottoman rule, started to rise. After World War I, the British assumed control of the region and issued the Balfour Declaration in 1917, which expressed support for a Jewish homeland in Palestine. In 1948, Israel declared its independence, which resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, known as the Nakba, or catastrophe in Arabic. These individuals were either forced to flee or expelled from their homes. Since then, the conflict has escalated into various wars, including the Six-Day War in 1967, the Lebanon War in 1982, and the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Several key issues fueled this dispute. Firstly, the borders of Israel and the status of the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem are contentious matters. Secondly, there is a debate surrounding the right of return for Palestinian refugees and their descendants. Another significant aspect is the disputed status of Jerusalem, claimed as the capital by both sides. Furthermore, Israel has concerns about Palestinian militant groups and has implemented a security barrier. Lastly, the presence of Israeli settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem considered illegal under international law, adds to the complexity of the conflict. Numerous attempts have been made towards peace, such as the Oslo Accords in 1993, the Camp David Summit in 2000, and the Arab Peace Initiative in 2002. However, a lasting resolution is yet to be achieved. The conflict has brought about immense human suffering, with both sides experiencing violence, forced displacement, and economic hardship. The international community continues to seek a peaceful resolution, recognizing the necessity of a two-state solution where Israel and Palestine can coexist in peace, security, and mutual recognition. In 1939, a global conflict known as World War II broke out, sparked by a combination of factors. Nazi Germany, led by Adolf Hitler, pursued an aggressive expansionist policy, annexing territories and threatening peace. In an attempt to avoid war, Britain and France adopted a policy of appeasement towards Germany. However, when Germany invaded Poland in September 1939, France and Britain declared war. The war also saw the Soviet Union expanding its territory under Joseph Stalin's leadership, while Japan aggressively expanded its influence in Asia. The formation of the Tripartite Pact between Germany, Italy, and Japan in 1940 created the Axis powers. Significant events like the Battle of Britain and Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union propelled the war towards a prolonged and costly conflict. Japan's surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 drew the United States into the war. Tragically, the war was also marked by the Holocaust, the systematic persecution and extermination of millions of Jews and others deemed undesirable by the Nazi regime. Similarly, the 2024 Iran-Israel conflict has its own set of reasons. It is an escalation of a long-standing proxy war between the two nations, which began in 1979. The conflict intensified when Israel bombed an Iranian consulate in Syria, resulting in the deaths of senior Iranian officials. As retaliation, Iran and its proxies seized an Israeli-linked ship and launched strikes inside Israel. Israel responded with its own strikes in Iran and Syria. Regional tensions, including the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the Syrian civil war, have also fueled the conflict. Moreover, the conflict is driven by Iran's nuclear program and Israel's efforts to prevent its development. Several countries, such as the United States, United Kingdom, France, and Jordan, have been involved in supporting various parties in the conflict. This complex web of alliances, escalations, and responses underscores the significance of understanding the factors that contribute to conflicts around the world. In 2024, the Iran-Israel conflict has reached a boiling point as an escalation of the ongoing proxy war between the two nations. Since 1979, tensions have been simmering, but recent events have sparked a dangerous and violent turn. It all began when Israel launched an airstrike on an Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, on April 1st, 2024, resulting in the deaths of multiple high-ranking Iranian officials. In retaliation, Iran and its allies seized an Israeli-linked ship and launched strikes inside Israel on April 13th. In response, Israel carried out retaliatory strikes in Iran and Syria on April 19th. These regional tensions, including the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the Syrian civil war, have greatly fueled the conflict. Additionally, Iran's nuclear program and Israel's attempts to stop it have further escalated the situation. This conflict has garnered involvement from other countries, such as the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and Jordan, with some providing military support for Israel. Regrettably, these events have resulted in a severe humanitarian crisis, with countless innocent civilians caught in the middle and suffering the consequences of the fighting. As the conflict rages on, both sides continue to suffer casualties, leaving the region in a state of instability. However, diplomatic efforts are underway to bring about a peaceful resolution, although success has yet to be achieved. A country situated in the heart of the Middle East, boasts a captivating and diverse history. While the modern state of Israel was established in 1948. The roots of the Jewish people, who form the majority of Israel's population, stretch back thousands of years. The Jewish people originated in the Middle East, particularly in the region called Canaan, which encompasses present-day Israel and the Palestinian territories. Around 1800 BCE, they were a nomadic tribe that eventually settled in the area, ultimately establishing the Kingdom of Israel circa 1000 BCE. Throughout the centuries, the Jewish people experienced both prosperous and challenging periods. Among these were significant events such as the Babylonian exile in 586 BCE, the Roman destruction of Jerusalem's temple in 70 CE, and the diaspora, which dispersed Jews throughout the world. Despite their dispersal, the Jewish people tenaciously preserved their cultural, religious, and national identity. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a movement known as Zionism emerged, dedicated to the restoration of a Jewish homeland in Palestine, then under Ottoman and subsequently British rule. In 1948, the State of Israel was proclaimed, and Jewish immigrants began arriving from all corners of the globe. Today, Israel thrives as a diverse society with a population of approximately 5 million people, encompassing Jews, Muslims, Christians, and various other communities. The history of Israel is a complex tapestry, with myriad perspectives on its establishment and progress. Nevertheless, it is widely recognized that the Jewish people share a profound historical connection to the land of Israel, and the modern state of Israel was founded as a homeland after enduring centuries of persecution and displacement. Judaism, one of the oldest monotheistic religions, has been historically followed by the Jewish people. It is based on the principles of the Tanakh, Hebrew Bible, and the Talmud, a collection of oral traditions and commentary on the Tanakh. Some of the key beliefs and practices of Judaism include monotheism, the belief in one God, known as Yahweh or Adonai, the belief in a covenant between God and the Jewish people, the importance of the Torah as the Word of God revealed to Moses, the observance of the 613 commandments in the Torah, the Sabbath observance on Saturday, the celebration of Jewish holidays, adherence to dietary laws, and the significance of the synagogue as a place of worship and community. Over time, Judaism has evolved into different denominations, including Orthodox Judaism, Conservative Judaism, Reform Judaism, and Reconstructionist Judaism. It is important to note that these denominations are not mutually exclusive, and many Jews identify with aspects of multiple denominations. Additionally, there are numerous other Jewish movements and sub-denominations within Judaism. The Jewish community and Christian religion may seem similar at first glance, but in reality, they have distinct differences. Both trace their roots back to the ancient Israelites and believe in one God who created the universe. Both also emphasize ethics, morality, and treating others with kindness and respect. However, the beliefs about Jesus are where they diverge. Christianity sees Jesus as the Son of God and the Messiah who came to save humanity from sin, while Judaism does not accept Jesus as the Messiah or the Son of God. Their practices also differ, with Christianity having unique rituals like communion and baptism, while Judaism follows practices such as keeping kosher and observing the Sabbath. Furthermore, Christianity has additional texts like the New Testament, whereas Judaism only recognizes the Hebrew Bible as sacred. Despite these differences, both religions share ethical teachings, a strong commitment to social justice, and the importance of community. The Temple Mount, Haram al-Sharif, dispute in Jerusalem, is a highly sensitive and contentious issue. Both Muslims and Jews claim sovereignty over the site. For Jews, the Temple Mount is the holiest site in Judaism, where the first and second temples once stood. The Western Wall, a remnant of the Second Temple, is the most sacred site in Judaism. On the other hand, for Muslims, Haram al-Sharif is the third holiest site in Islam, believed to be the spot where the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. The Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque are located on this site. The controversy arises because both religions claim ownership and control over the site. This has led to numerous clashes, protests, and diplomatic tensions over the years. Some of the key issues include access, sovereignty, and the reconstruction of the temple. The status quo has been maintained since 1967, with the site administered by the Islamic Waqf and Israel maintaining security control. However, tensions and disputes continue to this day, making it one of the most contentious issues in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.